Yep. Good evening, everyone. Yesterday we learned about few form elements. So we discussed about working with what are those elements? Uh, checkbox, checkbox and radios. So many other elements, but last one we learned radio and checkbox. Right? Password, number, date, URL, email. So many input types are there. Next important in checkbox and radio, what is the problem is, suppose we want to show a list of 10 options and user must select one. Then showing lot of radios on screen is difficult. Then better what you can do is we can use drop down list. We can use a drop down list. Drop down list actually it allows user to select any one option from a group of choices. So list is defined by using, it is defined by using select. List is defined by using select. So we have to use select. And list items, list contains collection of items defined using option. They are defined by using option. And options can be grouped by using OPT group. We have OPT group. So we have drop down with option and option groups. So a drop down list contains an option contains list and this. So when we use drop down, we use the drop down when there is a lengthy list of items and user can choose any one. If there are one or two, then we don't use any drop down. We can just go with radios. And how this is designed is we have a select. Select can have a OPT group with a label as some title. And this is group name. So actually title is enough actually. In this we have an option. This is item 1. And we have an option with item 2. So we have option group. OPT group is not compulsory every time. OPT group is not mandatory every time. If you want to categorize, then we can use an OPT group. Otherwise, not required. So drop down can be designed by using select. For example, let's say, so here we are creating a drop down. So just I will keep here something like, okay, data list, data term, select product. Okay. And we just have some submit button. Okay. We have a submit button. And now user must able to select a product from a list. So many lists will be there. Then we can simply put a select. Actually, select, it will display a drop down like this. It will put a drop down in this way. Select is going to show a drop down in this way. That is how drop down will be there. Now, generally, when we define this drop down here, in the drop down, we can have an option. We can have an option in the drop down. This option will have, suppose, choose product. Okay. Now you can see directly choose product will come in the list. Now we want some list. Directly we can put the list, or we can put an OPT group, option group. In that group, we can put a label. Label for that option group is, label is suppose electronics. In that we have an option televisions. So we have an option mobiles. So we have an option like watches like this. We have another OPT group. This group will have label as footwear. We have an option. The footwear is like some casuals. So option like sneakers like this. Now you can see this drop down contains, so category wise, this is actually option group electronics. In that we have some category and we have some category. So a drop down allows you to choose any one. Now these options can be defined without group also. Directly we can put the options. And actually have every option have three attributes. One is value is the attribute. It defines the value to submit. We have value attribute that defines the value to submit. The value that you want to submit. And it will have selected. It keeps the option selected on load. We have disabled, so it will not allow to select the option. Select the option. It will not allow to select the option. These are the three important values. So we have value, we have selected, and we have disabled. So for example, what is this concept is? So that means every option have value and selected or disabled. So why you need an option with value is actual here. You see now this is this is yeah, this is product. I selected televisions. Then it will submit the same word televisions. But many times we don't want like that. What we show is different, what we submit is different. For example, you see any ticket booking, bus, train, flight ticket booking. They will show for a particular train, you need to book the ticket. Trains are actually identified by a train number. Every train have a number, every flight have a number, every bus have a number. In their database, they are present through numbers only. But general people may not understand those numbers. Then for general people, what they do, they show train name. But when you select the name and submit, it will not submit the name. It will submit the number. That means what you see is different. What you submit is different. What you select is different. What you submit is different. What you see is the text, but what you submit is the value. That means as of now, suppose you see websites like Make My Trip and all. When I go to some flights, bus, train, booking, here you can see that in this, they will provide a simple Bangalore International Airport, that is BLR. That means some Delhi airport is DEL. So some other airport BOM, that is Mumbai airport. That means actually this is for you, but this is for their internal reference, because that is how originally they are stored in their database. What you see is different, what you submit is different. Generally, that is what you can manage here. That means suppose I am selecting option mobiles, television, mobiles, watches. For mobiles, I will give a value as some PRELEMOB, some 1102. That is its code. Now what happens is when I select television and submit, it will submit television only. And we know that we need a name. Name is what? Product. Okay. Now you can see it is submitting television only. Product is televisions. But when I submit mobile, it will not submit mobile. It will submit its value. That means what you see, what you submit can be same, or what you see, what you submit can be different. That depends on what value you define. Every option needs a value, right? Next, I don't want temporarily this casuals selected. Then what you can do, we can put disabled. So it is not selectable. It is present and it is not selectable. That generally we do when it is out of stock, not deliverable. We don't delete it. We will keep it, but we will make it not selectable for some duration of time. Later when it is available, we will enable that, right? So not only that, whenever I open, I want mobiles to be selected. Then what you can just do, for this mobile option, you can put selected. Selected means automatically it is selected. Whenever page opens, by default it is selected. If you want, you can change it. you can change. That's a simple thing. So every option have three important values, attributes: value, selected, and disabled. Disabled. Another point is every option is RC data type. Every option is RC data type. So it will not allow icons and images as values or text. Images as value or text. It will not allow anything. That means you can display only plain text, alphabet, numbers, special characters we can display. Icons, images we can't display. We cannot design the icons, images, and put them in a drop down. It's not possible. Only plain text. That means only text, alphabet, number, and special characters allowed. Others, you cannot keep anything. Special characters are allowed. Special characters, we can keep them. For example, you see several websites. Suppose you have a website like some Flipkart. In this Flipkart, you see there is a login. Login is a drop down, but in this login drop down, like this, items will come. On this login drop down, so it will show some items like this. This is also drop down, but not HTML drop down. It is a bootstrap drop down because HTML cannot show symbols like that. Not symbols, nothing allowed. That means you can't put a link, you can't put a text box, you can't put a radio button, anything. Only text. You can't even write bold tag, italic tag, underline tag also inside that element. Plain text only allowed, nothing else allowed. Then all these drop downs, these all drop downs are bootstrap designed. By using bootstrap, we design such drop downs. They are not HTML drop down. When we use bootstrap drop down, when we use HTML drop down is not about images. If list is fixed and it will never change very much, then we use bootstrap. If list is not fixed, every few days it will be changing, then we will use HTML dropdown. You see here in Flipkart, this is a list. So from past 1-2 years, it is same. There is no change in that list. Nothing will add, nothing is removed. The fixed list. Then we design by using bootstrap. But when you see the list like movie websites or others, every few days movies are changing, every few days trains are changing, bus are changing. So you cannot have drop down with bootstrap for them. If a list is dynamically changing regularly, then use HTML. If it is a fixed, then use bootstrap. That is the best important. So here the point is, it will not allow complex. You can try. So you can try. Suppose see, we are having link. I will link. Link relation is a style sheet. Link href is what? Node modules, bootstrap icons, font icons.css. Actually, outside, I'm using a span class bi. Some person, something like this I added. You can see there is a outside. Outside you can keep anything, it doesn't matter. But inside I want something. That means just what we will do, I will move this from here and put it in this option. In this option, I will write that span. and you can see nothing is there. You can't have anything like that. Even for this choose product, I am writing something like B. B is for bold, and you can see it is not working anything. You can't have any content inside except plain text. You can't put an image, you can't put an icon, you cannot put any formats. You can put only normal text. Choose product. Only normal text you can keep inside. That's what you can do by using this option. Right? That is the concept how it works. So option, it is RC data type. In the introduction, I given already list. RC means rich content data elements. So it will not allow any other contents, only text. Of course, special characters are allowed. Special characters means, do you know what you can do is, for example, let's go Google Translate. We have Google Translate. In Google Translate, I will type here English. English, yeah. Here Hindi. Hindi, yeah. And here I am typing Hindi. Suppose I am writing the word Hindi. And it is translated to the Hindi language. I will copy this and I will put here another term. I will copy this one. Yeah. I will go here data term language. Data definition is a select. So option is language, your language. And you have an option here English. And here we have an option Hindi. Paste that here. You can copy and paste. Then you can see it is going to display that language Hindi will be there. But it submits some special characters inside. That means, for example, we have a name called language. So when you select any language here, what it is going to do is it is going to submit that language here. We can collect it and use it in your page. These are special characters. These are not symbols and icons. Special characters, so many will be there like that. Such special characters we can add. Because some people come up with question like, sir, I have seen some arrows are there, some blocks are there. They are not icons. They are special characters designed through some code. Such things are allowed, but they are not symbols actually. Symbols means like bootstrap icons and all. They are not allowed. Images, they are not allowed. We can keep plain content. This is the concept of what drop down. So this is example for that. That is the example. I'm just giving one example of how to handle this one. Right? So we have a drop down. Drop down allows the user to select any one option from the list. Now, same drop down have a simple transformation called list box. Drop down transforms into list box with attributes multiple and size. That means syntactically, if for select you write just select, then it is a drop down. But you write select with size, then it becomes a list box. And what is the advantage of list box? List box allows to select multiple options. List box allows to select multiple options. Rest of options are same. Rest of everything is same. Only the difference is you give size, it converts into a list box. You don't give size, it will behave like a drop down. You define the size, automatically it will convert. It will convert. That means list box allows to select multiple options. Just you have to add a simple select with the size, and you just mention multiple. Automatically, it will allow you to select more than one. You can choose more than one. So you don't need to change anything. All other attributes are same. Just the list box is converted into drop down if you remove size and multiple. It will be a list box when you give size and multiple. That's simple. So for example, see now here, this language mobiles fine. You have an option, data list, select city. And here we have data definition. We have a select option is some Delhi. So option is Hyderabad. So option is some Chennai. Like this we have. And we will create a name as city. Okay. Actually, this is a drop down only. This is another drop down. Now what you do? Simple. For this drop down, give extra size as 2. Then automatically it becomes a list box. It becomes a list box. You can select any one. If you want to select more than one, then what you do? Just add one more. What is it? Multiple. Then automatically it becomes to select more than one. And you submit, it is going to submit all of them. You submit, it is going to submit city, Delhi, city, Hyderabad. So it allows you to choose more than one. You remove the size and multiple. If you remove multiple, you can't select more than one. But list box is same. If you remove size, then it is not a list box anymore. It is a drop down. Nothing else required. You have to just mention the size. You have to just mention the option as multiple. That means a drop down can be changed into a list box. Just by using these two attributes, you can do size and multiple. This is another example. So in this, we have all these options. Same concept here. So when to use drop down and list box? When we want user to select one or many, then why to use radius checkbox? If one or two options are there, radio checkbox is enough. Many are there, radio checkboxes are difficult even logically. Logically means if you want to know which one is selected, to write a logic for that, it becomes difficult. List box and check drop downs are very simple. With one line, we can understand which one is selected. So if there is a lengthy list, even today, generally for even gender, male, female also, many websites don't use radio. Radio days are gone. These days we don't use much radios. They are gone. They are not using much radios. Even for two options also, they are giving a drop down. Why? Because drop downs are easy to handle in logical also. Anyhow, we have two options for one and multiple choices. We can use radios and checkboxes. We can use drop downs and list box, right? Next important in the form elements, we have a text area element. Text area. It is used for multi-line text. It is used for multi-line text. Text box is single line text. Text box allows only single line text. Single line text. Text area allows multi-line text. However, the point is it is a RC data type and allows only plain text content. No formats, nothing. So syntactically, we just use text area and your text, and that is optional. Text area close. That is not mandatory to have. So the text area, actually it have attributes. Attributes are simple. Actual attributes are we have attributes like rows, calls, read only, disabled like that. Rows, calls, read only, disabled like attributes are present. So this is nothing but generally it is used for displaying multi-line text. Actually, text box will not allow multi-line text. So for example, we are defining here a field set with a legend. So here we have your comments and we have input type is text. And just put a break and put a button. So post comment. And I will keep this in a form. Okay, so usually it looks like this. It looks like this. So this is comments and post. And here I am typing the comments. So we are typing the comments. And once we reach end, it will continue. How to come to next line? I want in 2-3 lines. Suppose I am accepting some address or comments. If you hit enter, it will submit the form. It will not come to next line. So text box are not suitable for multi-line. For multi-line, you can use text area. And you can see a text area looks like this. Now here, actually, this is the original size. You want to increase the width, height for the text area. We have rows, 4 rows and calls as some 40 columns. It looks like this. Now the question is, why I given 40 columns? What is the measurement here? Measurement is, tell me, for example, this is your screen command here. How many columns your screen supports? This is not web page. Web page supports 12 fractions, 1200 pixels. Normal computer screen, how much? Normal computer screen supports how many columns? How many columns it will support? That usually varies in different devices. We can know by using a command called mode. You type the command mode, you can know your screen capacity. Screen capacity means how many rows and columns it can support at a time. Mode, you can see the number of lines 33 and columns is 133. These are number of rows and columns your screen supports actually. These days, majority devices will have similar, some will be changing, Based on that, we define how many columns, how many rows, right? So that depends on device. So usually we don't give the columns outside that range, that we know the screen mode. Based on that, we define the columns. You see, this is the columns, 40 columns. It is not limit. That means once you type anything, what will happen? Once you type anything, automatically when it reaches next line, it will get a scroll bar. We can scroll and we can view the content. Actually, text areas are used in another way also. Suppose I have, let's say, let's put a data list. Data term is data definition I will directly give. Okay, data definition is this text area. Okay, that is the text area we are having. After that, another data definition. Here I am using another data term, terms of service, and data definition. We give a text area. In this text area, again rows for calls 40, and we want some content by default inside. Then we can directly put some content here. Then by default, some content will be inside. And you can just scroll the content and read the content. And usually what happens, we don't want that content to submit, or we don't want the content to modify, because actually this content can be modified. We can modify. Then you know what you do, you put as what? Disabled. Why not read only? You can give read only also, but read only is submitted. We don't want to submit. Then we can just keep it this way. That's how we do. These are text area. Text area will allow you to type text in more than one line. That you can do by using text area. This is an example for that. These are text areas, right? So next, another important, we have meters. We have meter. Actually, it is used to show grade meters. It is used to show grade meter. It is controlled with attributes. So min, max, value, low, and high. Right. It is controlled with the attributes min, max, low, and high. So syntactically, just we have a meter element. Meter have like meter is having like min, max, value, low, and high. Like this, we are having the value. What are those? I will show you. What is min, what is max, low, high, like things. Actually, meters, HTML meter have a limited behavior. Through CSS, we can design more complex also. Let's show you some website like, suppose we have a Flipkart, and in Flipkart, let's say mobiles, some mobile. And in this, actually, we scroll down. You see, these are all meters. These are meters. Those are meters. that 4.7 battery camera, they are not meters. They are not meters. They are differently designed, but these are meters. Rating, reviews, those are meters. So it's a very simple point actually. Suppose you see here, how do we design the meter? Let's say we will put a link. Relation is style sheet. Href is node modules. Meter doesn't require any bootstrap. I'm using bootstrap just to display the star symbols. For them, we are using it. Suppose I am adding a div, a data listener. We will put a data definition. And in that, we are adding a span. So class BI star fill. And it is having some another span. So that is 5. So we have some 5-star display. Okay. And beside this, we are adding a meter. That is a meter element we are having beside it. That's the meter. So I put a span beside it and 23. So like this, something value is present. Now what I will do is in the style, here meter is having width as 200 pixel, some width will come, right? Now that meter can have height at 20 pixel, little bit width and height we are adding. In this meter element will have minimum is how much? You can start with any number, end with any number, right? Suppose 1 to 100, 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 5 to 50, 500 to 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, anything you can give. Any numeric fractions also, 0.01 to 0.77, anything. Number is just like a numeric up, down and all, right? Suppose I given minimum is 1, maximum is 5, and the value is 2. Then see what happens. It will show like this. If I give value 5 means it will show full, right? That's how we can define. Suppose I am adding another data definition. In this minimum is 1, maximum and is 2, and this is 4 rating. And I given as suppose 3 or something, and it will look like this, and it has a different value. It has a different value like this. Actually, your JavaScript will teach you how to slowly increase it, decrease it. Dynamically, it will be changing. You know, we give this for password strength also. That means anybody is typing password. We will say weak password, strong password, so or poor password. We will change the colors also. We can change colors also for this. But colors depend on actually meter is using what? Meter is using min and max. Actually, we can have a color also. Suppose meter is 1, min is 1, max is 100. By giving that, width will not increase. Only the fractions inside will increase, points will increase. So, and value, how much I am giving 100. That means what it will do? It will show like this. But we have two attributes called low and high. Actually, by default, low and high are 0, 0. Low must be above minimum. So I will give 20. High must be below maximum. That means I will give suppose 60 or 80. 80. Now there is more gap between low and high. Remember, if low and high are 0, then green color. If there is more gap between low and high, How much gap? 60 gap is there. Then it looks like this. That looks like that. Okay, suppose I given this as suppose this is like 3-star rating. Okay. And here I am having suppose 1-star rating. Suppose what do I do here is minimum is 1, maximum is 100, value also 100. Then usually it is green color. And what is low? Low is 60, high is 80. Low is 60 and high is 80. That means there is less gap between low and high. Then it turns red. If there is less gap between low and high, red. More gap, gold. Zero, all are zero. Low and high are zero, green. It can change the values also. Even you can change the value. But when you change the value, make sure that the min max is less than that values. Otherwise, it will not work. We can put different, but only these colors are there. Others will not be there. That means what we will do here, the point is colors for meter. So low, high is low, high are set to 0. Then which color? Green color will come. So more gap between low, high, then gold will come. Less gap between low, high, then red will come. It completely depends on the values that you mention. We control this by using min, max, low, high, and value. This is one example I will copy here. That is the example for that meter, how we define different meters. There is another one. Instead of meter, generally we show by using progress. We have a progress. It is used to show the status of any task performed by page. So it includes time elapsed and time remaining. So, and time remaining, these two are important. Syntactically, this is same. We have a progress, and progress will have attributes. 3 attributes are there. One is min, another one max, another one value. It is controlled by using JavaScript. It is controlled dynamically by using JavaScript. There is nothing to manually control it. Through JavaScript, we provide values dynamically into it, and those values will be updated. We can have a progress, but these days, majority websites are not using progress. They use others like spinners. We use spinners. Progress is nothing but suppose you are doing some transaction like installing, uploading, downloading, then you know spinner will come spinning 10% complete, 20%. In legacy type websites, we use this progress very much. In modern, we use spinners. HTML don't have spinners. Again, we have to depend on whom? We have to depend on Bootstrap CSS. We have to depend on that. Actually, suppose you see progress will be like this. Suppose I have a data list. Okay. Here I will give progress. Okay. Here we have a data term. So download, download, download status. Okay. Suppose we are having a progress, just a progress. It looks like this. That's a progress. Progress will have some animation, right? This is what we control by using what? JavaScript. Here we can't control this. Here what you can do, here you can just mention minimum maximum, then it stops scrolling. That means suppose I want to show like 40% completed. Then how you show 40% completed? Progress will have min is how much? 1, max is 100, value is what? 40. Then it will show 40% means like this. How you will show completed? That means download completed. So then we put here progress. We have min, we have max, we have min, we have max, and we have value also 100. Then it will show completed. This is what generally we show slowly growing with percentage. We display something. All this done with JavaScript. Actually, means you are not into JavaScript. I will show if any example is already there. Later in JavaScript, you will do that. Product slide. This is this is a different progress bar. This is related to password. Okay, somewhere it is there. So increment. It is not that increment. Okay, actually, I'll show a simple one. Means how we show dynamically. Dynamically is nothing but usually the progress will be like this. You are entering some password. If it is weak password, then it shows like this. It is strong password, it will be like this. It is strong password, then it will be like this. These are all such effects we can do. That is what JavaScript will teach you. What HTML will teach you? Just put some bar. Right? How you control it? Through JavaScript only you can control it. We will pass the updated values. It will increase, decrease. It will show that. These are generally done actual. So this is just an example. This is the progress related options. Syntactically now we have progress, min, max, and value like this. We just have a progress. How we can define progress and use the progress. So meter and progress both are not same. Meter don't have any animation. Progress will have some animation. Next, in the form elements, we have one more important form element. What is that? So we have buttons. Another form element is button. What is the purpose of button? Uh, What is the purpose of buttons? Why we use buttons in an application? Generally, you may say to submit, to reset and all. What are those submit, reset? So actually buttons are used to confirm user action. What is submit? Submit means you are confirming that send the data to server. What is cancel? You are confirming that reset the form. That means what is next, what is previous, what is first, what is last, what is close, what is open. You are confirming that open the window, close the window. These are all confirmations. So buttons are used to confirm the actions. You fill the form, it will not confirm that you finished it. How you confirm that you finished it? You will click some OK or cancel or something. That is what actually the purpose of button. And generally, buttons are two types. We have generic buttons and non-generic buttons. Generic means I told you already in previous. What is generic means? Generic have a predefined functionality. That means already functionality is built. So generic buttons, actually, generic buttons, we have two. One is submit, another one is reset. We call these as generic buttons. And actually, we can create them in two ways again. HTML4 button, HTML4, we have input type submit and value something you want. Input type reset and the value reset and the value you want. These are HTML4 buttons. HTML5 buttons, HTML5 buttons, we have button type submit. We have button type submit. What is the specialty of this? You can put text, you can put image, you can put icon, anything you can keep. It is not possible in HTML4. HTML4 is plain text. You cannot have complex. If you want lightweight button, then use HTML4 button. If you want icons, images, then HTML5. If you are using HTML5, they are little heavy than HTML4. HTML4 are lightweight. That means which one to use, you decide according to your requirements. Whether it is 4 or 5. You want icon symbols and all, then 5. You want just only plain text, then go with 4. So these are generic buttons. What is the specialty of generic button is actually submit. What it can do, it can submit form data. Reset, it will reset form data. Data to default. That is generic buttons. Generic buttons by default have a functionality. By default have the functionality. So here button type is what? Reset. We have text, we have image, we have icon like that. HTML4 buttons, HTML5 buttons. So you can see here, suppose we are having, let's say, a data list, right? Okay, in this data list, I will keep a simple data term, some username, data definition, input type text, and name as username. And we have a city. We have a data definition, we have a select, we have an option, choose city. And option, we have some city. Now, what is the point is here in the form, we have input type submit. We have input type reset. Actually, by default, they have the words called submit and reset. If you want to change the word value as register, this value as cancel, then they will change them to register and cancel, but they are submit and reset buttons. And why they are generic? You entered some name, you selected a city and click cancel, it will reset the form. Without writing any functionality, already they have some work. They have some work to do. These are generic. You entered some name, selected a city, click register, it submits the form. You know it submits the form. That means you need a name here. So what it is, city. It can submit the value only when there is a name. Then you submit, it will submit those. So the point now is the same thing we can do. Suppose let me keep this in a data definition. Okay. These two are HTML4 buttons. We have HTML5 button type as what? Submit. If you don't mention button type submit, by default it is submit. By default it is submit. So submit, and what you can do, anything you can keep here. You can put an image if you want. You can put an icon if you want. BI person fill. Okay. And we say as a register. Okay. This looks a different one. Just roughly, let me keep data definition margin top as some 20 pixel. We have some gap just to show you. Now, what is the point? This is HTML5 button. In that we can put anything we want. And there is another one. What is another one? We have a button type. Type is what? Reset. And here we put a span class bi close. Close is there. Some crosshair is not there. Some check. Some check. Say cross is there. Okay, something I am giving some close. Close is there. Close is not there. Okay, some to some close something. I am using something. Closed. Okay. We have some span. Okay. We have some icon there. Okay. I will just keep this word as what? Cancel. And you can put anything. Instead of span, you can even put an image. What is it? img source dot slash images, some A1, width is 20, height is 20. We put an image here, right? We can have, so cancel. Okay. We can have images, we can have text, we can have anything. But the functionality is same. You entered something, you click cancel, it is same. You entered something, you click register, it is same, right? So we have HTML4, HTML5. Why you have two? That depends on your requirement. You can use any, right? There are non-generic buttons. What are the non-generic button is nothing but just what you do in HTML4. HTML4, you mention input type as button and value anything you want. HTML5, then we have input type as what? Not input type, button type. Button type as what? Button. In this, we can have text, image, icon, anything you can have. But what is the point? It doesn't have any functionality. It have a static functionalities. We generally write with JavaScript and give the functionality. You can have input type button or button type as button. So suppose you are adding button type button. Suppose we are adding button type button. So let's say button and button type as button. And here I will put a class bi printer. Okay. And printer fill. And I will give the word as print. And you can see this is a button, print button. Nothing is happening here because it is an ordinary button. These buttons require functionality. We have to write through JavaScript. We write on click window dot print. It is going to print that page. Now functionality is written, it will print it. It will open the printer settings, it will print. So these are manually written. They don't have any predefined functionality. Later you will write the functionalities. So what is the purpose of button? Purpose of button is to handle the actions. So confirm the actions. There are two types, generic and non-generic. If we define here a simple note, if button type is not defined, then the default type is submit in HTML. So for HTML5 buttons, if button type is not defined, then the default type is submit for HTML5 buttons. That is the concept. Now, these are the buttons we configure and define. Example, I will just copy. This is just to know the different types. Okay. These are all the elements inside the form. These are all the elements inside the form. So form have a lot of elements. So and what is one important is the elements that you have learned. These are only the elements HTML have, and any form is designed by using these. But what is problem is the website designers will not use the elements in the same way how you used it. They modify the elements in such a way that it may confuse you. You may think like it is some new element you haven't learned, but there is no other element in the world of HTML which is used for form other than what you have learned. Nothing else. What you learned, only these are used. But unfortunately, they apply CSS in such a way that you can't imagine that, you can't register that it is like a button or a element that you have learned. It looks different completely. For example, I will show you. I will show you which you will learn in styles. When CSS bootstrap, when you learn, I will open display settings. Actually, these are display settings. Okay. Can you tell me what is this element? What is that element? Checkbox. That is checkbox element. What is this element? Range element. What is this element? That is also checkbox only. That is also checkbox only. But you cannot imagine like checkbox. Will it look like that? But for me, traditionally, checkbox means a box. Not necessary. They can change. CSS will change. That means later you will learn how to design like this. That's the reason you will be confused. Like you may think like you haven't learnt about this. That means how to get a control like this. It is a checkbox only. By applying CSS, they modify like that. Later you will learn. I will just show you a point here. See, later you will learn it, but I will just show you one concept here. See, later I will install Bootstrap for you. Don't worry. Temporarily, let me put one link. Means just I am showing you. Suppose we have a data list and data term. Suppose I said switch. Okay. And data definition input type is checkbox. Huh? Input type is checkbox. And here we have some label. In the label, we are having like switch on. Okay. Off, something like this we given. Actually, this looks normal. There is nothing special. It looks like on off. Actually, we have Bootstrap libraries. I will go to the Bootstrap library. I will go to the CDN. I will copy this. Don't worry what I am doing. Just see. Okay. Later you are going to learn this. I will put that Bootstrap here. Now you see still the switch is there. I will put a container here. Class container. Okay. It looks like this. Okay. Now you see this is still a checkbox only. No? It is a checkbox only. See what I am doing. For this, I am using a class form check input. That is, and you see it changes its colors now. Right? After that, I will keep this as form switch. Then automatically it changes into a switch now. Just like that. That is what confuses many learners. Like, so, sir, you told only text box buttons and all, but in that website I have seen this, in that whatever you see, you can design. If you have seen something, that means it is designed by somebody. And after all, you can also design more better than that if you know CSS. Right? Style CSS will allow you to design such things. That is the reason don't put a blind format in your brain that checkbox means it will be a box. Button means it will be a rectangle. Buttons can be round also. How to make a button round? Is it impossible? Right? So you can make a button round. We can adjust the height, width, border radius. Right? For example, so all such things later you will learn. This is not required. That's just I showed you the point. So to make you understand that the elements that you learned are the final, and these are only the elements used for designing a form. But they add lot of effects with styles and other things so that it look different. Such appearances we will able to do while learning Bootstrap. Now, once you learn the forms, now we will see how to create some real-time form. But to create real-time forms, we have to learn. So form CSS classes. We have to learn about form CSS classes. Some form CSS classes and form related Bootstrap. If you learn, then we can create real-time form. Real-time form is nothing but what? When you visit any website and see their form, generally what will happen, suppose you have Amazon. In Amazon, you selected sign in. When you selected sign in, a form looks like this. How to keep buttons like this, right? You click on register. So then it looks a form like this. How to design like this? For that, we need little bit more form related CSS. So form have some important CSS. Through that, we can easily design like this. That we will see in next session. Tomorrow, we will do that. In tomorrow's session, we are going to learn CSS of form and bootstrap of form. By learning those two, we can build complete real-time forms with all the effects, and you will see such switches also, how to create and use them. So we are going to design and build real-time forms by learning more about forms. These are not HTML. This is CSS and Bootstrap. What are the CSS classes used for forms? That we will see in tomorrow's session. Okay, right. Monday. Tomorrow means not Sunday.